Okay, good afternoon. I hope weather is good outside, but it sure feels like Mauna Kea Mountain today. Good afternoon and welcome. Our Committee on Transportation and the Labor and Technology Committee is on its agenda today, the notice of hearing Tuesday, February 10th. And for those testifiers, we ask that you stand on your written testimony or limit your oral testimony to 2 minutes. The live and archival video of this hearing can be found on the Senate's YouTube channel. So just remember, whatever you say is going to be following us forever once somebody gets on the internet, and decision-making certainly will follow after the hearing from all the testifiers, time permitting. And welcome, Committee on Labor, our first joint meeting today. Let's proceed with SB 2573. And let's see, and this is relating to administrative driver's license revocation. This authorizes administrative driver's license revocation hearings to be conducted using interactive conference technology, including teleconference, video conference, and voice over internet protocol, or the VoIP systems. Clarifies that evidence in hearings conducted via interactive conference technology may be submitted and exchanged electronically. Judiciary on Zoom. Carrie Lee, is that you? Aloha.
Yes. Hi. Hi. Good afternoon, Chair Inoue, Vice Chair Elefante, Chair Elefante, Vice Chair Lamosao, and members of the committee. I'm Carrie Lee Harada, Chief Adjudicator at the Administrative Driver's License Revocation Office. And I do stand on my written testimony. I just wanted to highlight that this measure provides for Zoom hearings as an alternative to in-person and telephonic hearings. This bill is not a mandate. It's just another option for those who prefer Zoom. Zoom has been used successfully at our office since 2021 in response to the COVID pandemic. In fact, Zoom has become the platform of choice among all parties involved in our hearings. Since all parties can easily attend the hearings from any location, it makes it more likely that parties will actually appear at the hearing. It is efficient, effective, and saves the judiciary time and money. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Okay. Thank you very much. And truly, I think our residents, particularly on the Big Island, when they all have to travel to Kona for court hearings, as well as the reverse from Kona residents over to the Big Island. So during that time, my understanding, matter of fact, I believe my mother-in-law was one of those that was traveling as well, and she was kind of so happy that they were able to do it on Zoom.
Yes.
Right? Okay, thank you. And this is a judiciary members' bill before us today. And this is to simplify their work. And happy you're doing it. DOT, Ed Sniffen, or member.
Thank you, Chair Inoue, Vice Chairs Elefante and Lamosao. Tony Lee from the Department of Transportation, Deputy Director. We stand on our written testimony and support.
Okay, thank you. Mahalo for being here. Is there anyone else wishes to speak to SB 2573? Members, any questions of judiciary? Okay, hearing none, shall we move on then to the next one? SB 3215 relating to harbor safety, and this repeals the sunset provisions of Part 3 of Chapter 266 HRS, thereby making permanent the requirement that DOT ensure that the securing of mooring lines from vessels to commercial docks, wharfs, piers, quays, and landings be performed by labor, subject to collective bargaining. Is there anyone else? DOT? Or any comments on this measure?
Thank you, Chair. We didn't submit testimony.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else wishes to speak on this measure? I know this measure has been supported by the longshoremen as well, and this was just started a couple of years ago, and would like to actually make this a little more permanent. So hence the let's see, deleting the sunset date. Okay, any questions, members? Okay, let's see, I do have quorum. Do
Yeah.
you have quorum?
No, we don't have quorum. But
Okay,
we'll,
shall we
we
take?
can take a vote for transportation.
Okay, shall,
Now I have quorum.
okay, good. There's no recommendation for amendments on
Oh,
this
okay.
measure, so, vote sheets,
I have it.
you have it, okay.
Right here. That's what I have.
Okay. Okay. All right, IT, we will go into decision-making. We're not taking breaks, so we have a small agenda. Chair's recommendation on SB 2573, and this is relating to administrative driver's license revocation. Chair's recommendation that we pass this measure with just technical, non-substantive amendments. Any discussions? Members of the the Committee on Transportation, Chair's recommendation then is to pass with amendments. Any discussions? Vice Chair for the vote. Chair goes aye.
Chair's recommendations to pass SB 2573 with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Senator Kanuha.
Aye.
Senator Lee.
Aye.
Senator DeCourt.
Aye.
Madam Chair, your recommendations adopted. For the Committee on Labor and Technology, same recommendation as transportation to pass with amendments. Any further discussion? If not, Vice Chair Lamasao for the vote. Chair votes aye.
Members voting on SB 2573, recommendation of the chair is to pass with amendments. Chair votes aye. Vice Chair also votes aye. Senator Ihara is excused. Senator Moriwaki is also excused. Senator Vavella.
Aye.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you.
Okay, for the SB 3250 relating to harbor safety, Chair's recommendation is to pass this measure as is, and this is repealing the sunset provisions of Chapter 266. Any discussions on the Committee on Transportation? Any discussions? Vice Chair for the vote. Chair goes aye.
Okay, Chair's recommendations to pass Senate Bill 3215 unamended of the 5 members present. Any no votes or votes or reservations? Hearing none, Madam Chair, your recommendations adopted. And for the Committee on Labor and Technology, same recommendation as transportation to pass as is. Any further discussion? If not, Vice Chair Lamasao for the vote. Chair votes aye.
Members voting on SB 3215, recommendation of the chair is to pass unamended, noting the excused absence of Senator Ihara and Moriwaki. Anyone voting with reservations or no? All members present. Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. This concludes the Committee on Transportation and Labor and Technology on its February 10th, Tuesday's agenda at 3 p.m. Isn't that nice? We have
Yes.
this fast agenda items and
Very efficient, Chair.
Okay, all right. Then this concludes the joint hearing. Good afternoon. The Committees on Transportation and Economic Development and Tourism On its agenda, notice of hearing, February 10th, Tuesday at 3:01 p.m. As noted, it's 3:13 p.m. And again, welcome to many of you who has been here since the first hearing. We welcome you again. And just a reminder, the testifiers, we ask you that you stand on your written testimony or limit your oral testimony to 2 minutes. The live and archival video of this hearing can be found on the Senate's YouTube channel. Decision-making will follow after hearing from all the testifiers, time permitting as well. Okay. Let's proceed with the agenda of February 10th, Tuesday, again in room 229, SB 2693. This is relating to capital improvement projects for aerospace infrastructure, and this authorizes the issuance of $15 million in GEO bonds to finance the planning, design, and construction of a 50,000 square foot aerospace hangar and related facilities at Hilo International Airport. HTDC,
Matthew Kobayashi for this. Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, standing on written testimony.
thank you very much. Jason Lee, Phoenix Space Inc. You're on
Chairs-
Zoom?
Yes,
I
Chairs
think-
in
Yes.
Chairs Inoue and Okoit and Vice Chairs Elefante and Wakai and members of the committees, mahalo for the opportunity to testify. My name is Jason Lee, and I'm speaking on behalf of Phoenix Space as founder and CEO in support of SB 2693, and I stand on my written testimony. Phoenix Space is an aerospace company developing an aircraft-based, on-demand space access system, and we are actively evaluating future operating locations. From our perspective, Hawaii, and Hilo in particular, has unique geographic and aviation advantages for advanced aerospace activities. SB 2693 invests in shared use infrastructure that can support a range of aerospace and advanced aviation users. Facilities like this often determine whether companies can realistically operate in a location. We appreciate that the bill requires matching private or federal funds, ensuring public investment is paired with real market commitment. While any future tenancy would follow normal leasing and approvals, infrastructure like this makes Hawaii far more competitive for aerospace investment and skilled job creation. We respectfully support the bill and thank you for your leadership in positioning Hawaii to participate in the rapidly growing aerospace sector. Mahalo.
Thank you very much. One moment, since you are on Zoom and not in Hawaii as well, members, if there's any questions you want to ask, please feel free to do that while he's still on. Thank you so much. Can I ask you, though, is there any other state that is doing this project?
Yes, we are talking to the state of Alaska at the moment.
Okay, but there is no viable industry right now.
That's
It's in the
correct.
planning stages.
Yes, that's correct.
Can I ask as well, because knowing my my district where the airport is as well, how much of a acreage would you need?
Yes, we are needing 50,000 square foot flight operations center in terms of a hangar space. It will house, 1,000 square feet of class 1,000 clean room for, payloads, 1,500 square feet of office, secure IT infrastructure, it will require, a 30-foot by 30-foot class, 10,000 clean room for advanced electronics manufacturing also.
Okay, so it seems like it's more an internal, within a building kind of a business rather than external. Is
Yes,
that
and
correct?
we need a runway to be able to conduct our operations, which
Is that one of the reasons
at
that?
Hilo
Okay.
Airport, International Airport.
At the outset, what type of personnel in the workforce would you require?
Yes, we require engineering, technician personnel, as well as operations, pilots and maintenance people.
Okay, thank you very much. Any further questions, members, that you may need? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
We'll continue the hearing. University of Hawaii, Mohammed Rashid, okay, sends testimony in support. Hawaii Space Flight Laboratory, Matthew Madayag, okay, in support as well. Hawaii Space Flight Laboratory, Miguel Nunez, in support. And matter of fact, we have several other support communications, Hawaii Science and Technology Museum, and these are all in support. Piper Klein, Kevin Miyashiro with the Pacific Impact Zone, Eric Basie, Makana Silva, Daniel Hong, Amber Imai Hong, Christian Anderson, and Katie Talladay. Let's see, I think that's it. Is anyone else wishes to speak to SB 2693 or IT? Anyone else on Zoom?
No one on Zoom, Chair.
Thank you. Shall we just proceed for the next one?
No,
You want?
I got a
Yes?
question for DOT.
Sure. Okay, DOT.
Hi, thank you. So if we construct this aerospace facility with the 15 million geo bond authorization, do we have any assurances from the federal government that they have an interest in providing their dollar for dollar match?
No, and my understanding, I have to check with the airports whether or not FAA funds can be used for this purpose. We are monitoring this measure, but I can get back to you on whether or not FAA would be participating.
So, as you heard the gentleman speaking on Zoom, Jason Lee, the amount of space that he's asked for and on hangar and on separate runway, do you guys have capacity for that as well?
Senator, I will have to check with the airports. I'm not sure.
Can you find out? The only reason why I'm asking is because I do know that when Mokulele reached out for extra hangar space, which was used to move passengers, we were told that there was no availability for any more hangar space.
Okay, got it.
And then finally, do you know of any agency or private entity that may be interested in doing aerospace research, testing, and launch-related activities?
No, I do not.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Sure. Can you check with HDDC as well? Because they're the proponents working with the private company.
I will.
Okay,
Thank
for
you.
any more information you need.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Shall we proceed then? Okay. Let's proceed then with SB 2698 relating to transportation. This requires DOT to assess a per-passenger head fee against cruise ships docking in the state's commercial harbors. This establishes the cruise ship special fund, repeals existing law imposing the TAT on cruise ships, effective retroactive to January 1st, 2026. Okay. Attorney General, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chair Inoue and Chair Decoit and members of the committee, Deputy Attorney General Yvonne Shimura. We've submitted written comments. I'm available for questions. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Okay. Thank you for your presence here as well. DOT. On Zoom. Hi,
Aloha
Jerry.
chairs. Hi. Aloha chairs, vice chairs, and members. DOT submits testimony in strong support of this measure. We understand that this measure will address some of the legal matters that were raised with Act 96. And it also creates a mechanism for cruise ships to deposit revenue into a special fund, and then DOT can use that revenue to improve facilities, including address some of the matters that were intended to be addressed by green fees. But DOT will do that in our commercial ports. We do offer a couple of important clarifying amendments, and I think of greatest importance is clarifying that this fee does not supersede or replace and is collected in addition to the existing passenger fees that we collect. And those fees, including passenger fees, port entry, and dockage, will continue to be assessed against cruise ships and their passengers. And those fees are set forth in our Hawai'i administrative rules. And then we also have a request to increase that per head fee from $6.50 to $10. Year over year, we see about 1 million passengers move through our port facilities. And so if you take $1 million times whatever the fee amount is, that will give you a sense of the revenue stream that we would expect to realize. So I think for $10 million, there's quite a bit of work that we can do year over year, but at 6.5, it's fairly limited. And so if we're talking about shore power, which is one of the improvements that's referenced specifically in the bill, I don't think we'll make it very far with a $6.5 million revenue on an annual basis. That's our testimony and available for any questions from the committee. Thank you.
Jerry, either the disembarking or the embarked fee structure right now is not $6.50 though, isn't it around $8?
So for Honolulu, when cruise passengers are arriving at Honolulu, it's $15. And for our neighbor island facilities, so Kahului, Nauwiliwili, and Hilo, it's $8.
Okay, that's the current. So this is in addition. This
That is
measure
correct.
would be in addition to what we're already collecting, and that
Yes.
goes into the special fund for harbors. So I assume that the $10 per passenger then will go into the special fund.
This bill proposes the establishment of a new special fund, so a cruise ship fund, which is separate and apart from the harbor special fund. So I just want to make that clarification.
All right. Okay, thank you so much. Members, any questions for DOT at this moment? Okay, yes, Senator Elafante.
Deputy Director Kalili, thank you for your testimony. On your harbor special fund, currently, how much is in that fund, and then what do you use that fund for?
So I don't have a total sum available, but we, on average, year over year, will generate between $220 and $240 million a year, and that's across the whole system. That is our wharfage for cargoes that are discharged at our ports. It's for port entry, dockage, and rentals of our facilities, and other fees like storage. So that gives you a rough order of magnitude. And basically, we're solely funded through the special fund. We don't get general funds. We don't have a formula, like federal formula funding, compared to our highways and our airports counterpart. So everything that we generate is basically what we have available to run our operation. So it pays our staff's salaries. It covers all our operation and maintenance costs. It includes our capital improvement program. So for example, the Kapalama Container Terminal, that's about a $555 million project. We characterize it as the largest project that Harbors has undertaken in its history, but it won't be once we start the redevelopment of Sand Island Container Terminal. We're expecting that is going to cost between $2 and $3 billion, especially when we're accounting for raising pier heights, for sea level rise, changing sea conditions, and other improvements we need to make for resilience. So we have significant investments that are coming up, and that's, we're relying solely on our special fund as well as any discretionary federal grants that we may get to finance all those improvements.
Okay, I have one quick follow-up, Chairs.
Sure, continue.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So with this creation of a cruise ship special fund, if this bill were to pass and become law, is the intent for HDOT to use it specifically in the cruise ship area, loading and docking areas?
Yes, so that's how we're reading the bill. And so what I testified this morning to your counterparts in the House is that when you look at our operations, 85% of that is cargo and 15% is cruise. And so when we're trying to prioritize the improvements, we almost always will prioritize cargo first. With a dedicated cruise ship fund, we can use that revenue source to finance improvements that are oriented for cruise operations.
Okay. And your harbor special fund, you could use funds from that for cruise ship improvements.
Correct. So to clarify, for example, at Hilo, or at Kahului or at Nauwiliwili, the piers where a cruise ship will berth are the same that a cargo vessel will berth at also. So when we're improving those, we're supporting both cargo and cruise operations. But there are some facilities that are cruise only, like the terminal, like the covered area where luggage is screened and like the passenger security checkpoint. In Honolulu, we have two large dedicated cruise terminals. We're currently undergoing some big capital improvements, including replacing the HVAC, installing a secondary elevator to make sure we have a good passenger experience. It's those kind of improvements that we would rely on this fund to make sure that we're continuing to prioritize cruise operations improvements.
Thank you so much, Deputy Director. Thank you, chairs.
Thank you.
Further questions? Yes, Senator?
Deputy, can you explain what the difference in what the state would collect based on the bill passed in 2025 relating to cruise ships and how this bill will change that?
So I understand, and I'm not an expert, and I don't want to speak for Department of Taxation, that a portion, like a percentage, the TAT, would be applied to a cruise fare. And for each line, they charge like a different fee, a different level, a different fare. And so that percentage would be applied, across the board. For some itineraries, depending on how many nights that they are in state waters, their, I guess, contribution under Act 96 could be very different. What this does is it assigns a it kind of flattens out, I would say, the revenues collected. And so we could, I think, for both sides, for DOT as the state, as well as the cruise lines, could, I think, more easily, I want to say, project what that payment or the fee or that, for us, revenue would be year over year, rather than a variable revenue stream based on the fare. And as a cruise passenger or someone who's taken cruises in the past, it looks like fares fluctuate season over season, month over month. And so I think that's what I'm trying to get to when I talk about like a steady, stable fee for the cruise lines and then revenue for the state.
So based on the amount of passengers that come in, and let's use Honolulu for an example, the cruise ship special fund that will be set up. So you guys collect, what, $15 per passenger at the Honolulu port. You're talking about an added $10. We should make it $25 per passenger with the amendments that DOT is asking for. Is that the ask?
So, for example, a cruise ship that calls to Honolulu, Kahului, Hilo, and Nauwiliwili would pay $15, $8, $8, $8 plus $10 if the bill passes with our amendment. So that's how we would calculate.
So you guys take on count as well when passengers arrive to Honolulu. What is the average passengers on the cruise ships that come into Honolulu, if we just look at Honolulu?
When I mentioned earlier that there are about 1 million cruise passengers, that's across the system. That's not 1 million individuals. It's how many times a passenger will enter one of our port facilities. So I think if we're talking about individual humans, it's like maybe 320,000 people a year. And then on cruise ships, it really, if you're asking for an average, it really depends on the cruise ship. Some cruise ships that call to our facilities can carry 4,000 passengers. Some is 400. So I don't really have an average for you per ship, but I can tell you roughly it's about 1 million passenger counts a year, and then about 300 some odd thousand per like individual unique passengers.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Thank you. As well, any further questions for DOT? Otherwise, did we call DOTAX? Okay.
DOTAX is here, we sent in our comments, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Norwegian Cruise Lines Holdings, Sandra Weir.
Hi, Sandy Weir with Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings. Thank you, chairs, vice chairs, for letting us testify today. I stand on my comments and in support of this bill, and if there's any questions.
Why don't, Sandy, since you're here, why don't you come on up? We'd love to talk to operators. You've come a long way.
All right.
Okay, well, you've heard some of the questions raised as well, and the response from DOT. Any comments to that as well? So we're talking about the cost factor. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's correct. So it would be an additional $10 per port is what Dre's saying. So currently I'm going to speak on behalf of our ship that's here year round, which is the Pride of America. So she spends 7 days in the ports, and currently just passenger wharfage is $41 per port. So it would essentially double to $81 for each of those ports that she visits for commercial ports. And then for Kona, because it's a DLNR port, it's $2 per passenger. So in essence, we're doubling that. And that's what's proposed this morning and got adopted by the House. And then in addition to that, there is the port entry, there's dockage, there's utilities and other things that we pay for every time we come into the port facilities.
Including the pilotage.
Including pilotage, and also including, there is on the Pride of America, there's GET on every ticket that we sell as well, because we are home ported here and we sail in and out of Honolulu, so that's part of our cruise fare as well.
But that GE goes into.
GET goes into the general fund, that's
To the
right.
general
Yeah,
fund, yes, and not to the special fund.
Correct.
Okay, any questions of Norwegian Cruises? Thank you, thanks for being here as well.
Thank you.
Okay, yes, Senator Elefante.
Thank you, Ms. Weir. So in your testimony, you mentioned with Act 96 that was passed, I know that's still going through litigation.
It is.
You did indicate in the testimony that fees that acts as a charge, wouldn't this be sort of the same in the interpretation, or what's your analysis of it?
This is different because it's going directly to a cruise ship special fund. It's going to be spent in improving facilities, which extends to improving our, the experience of guests and of the ship itself. So anything that those fees have to translate into either harbor improvements that benefit the ship, benefit the passengers, which is exactly how Deputy Director Kihili laid this out.
Okay.
So it is different in that regard.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I noticed this morning, Hilo Harbor, we had 2 cruise ships. And matter of fact, aside from Pier 2 here, is Hilo the only neighbor island port that can handle 2 at one time?
2 of the size ships that you saw this morning in port, yes. So Nawili Willie can take 1 larger ship and one smaller vessel, maybe 500 passengers or something like that. But yes, Hilo's the only one that we can take a double ship day at
I noticed
substantial
that
sizes.
the smaller size ships are more is that the international ones or the European ships?
International,
No,
we have 2 brands that are luxury smaller, Oceania Cruises and Regent Seven
that's
Seas.
yours.
So those are Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings too. Yeah.
Okay.
So they visit very regularly as well.
All right, okay, thank you. Any further questions? Hearing none, Honolulu Ship Supply?
I'm Maxime Himano, I'm the owner of Honolulu Ship Supply. So we supply, good afternoon, Chair, Decoy, and members of the committee. We supply cruise ships with provisions, so mostly food provisions.
Excuse me, you know what? Come on up.
Yeah.
So others that are on Zoom
Yeah.
that
My
can
voice is
also.
kind of soft and also I have an accent. but
Okay, all right, your
I'll
name
speak
again,
loudly.
please.
My name is Maxime. I'm the owner of Honolulu Ship Supply. We are a local company based in Kalihi. We have 50 employees, and we supply cruise ships when they come to Honolulu or other islands of Hawaii. So tomorrow, for example, I will be in Hilo supplying a ship that's there. And so what I want to highlight is the impact that cruise ships have on the local economy. So we partner with local farmers on all islands of Hawaii. And so we bring a lot of food products from Maui, from Kauai, from Oahu as well, Big Island. And so it has a really good impact on these farmers that don't have maybe so many customers they can sell locally. And so they are able to showcase what Hawaii has to offer.
So most of the supplies that you provide to the cruise ships, they're all local products.
It's a lot of local products, yes.
Okay, now this name is familiar. Were your company one of those that also took part in the filing of the suit?
Yes, we are part of that.
And why
also.
was that?
Because we think that the TAT is not going to benefit the cruise industry. And so we think that it's going to negatively impact the local economy and our business specifically. So we are located in Kalihi area. We give a lot of jobs to people, both in Honolulu, but also on outer islands with our suppliers. And so we think that continuing to encourage cruise ships to come to Hawaii is going to be beneficial for everybody.
So for Norwegian as well and their ships, do you do the others?
Yeah, we do
The
most
other
of the
cruise
cruise
lines.
ships that come to Hawaii, yes.
Okay, any questions? Okay, yes, Senator.
How much produce do you purchase from the state of Hawaii from local farmers and
Maybe,
ranchers?
maybe about 30% of, so we bring some produce from the mainland, right? Because some produce is not grown in Hawaii, obviously, but I don't know, like watermelon, sweet potato, pineapple, we're gonna try to bring that from Hawaii because we have that here locally. And so part of our value proposition is that it's fresher for the ships and local, right? They are always happy to showcase local fish, local produce, local eggs to their guests.
So 30% is how much in poundage?
In poundage, I mean, it's thousands of pounds because, I mean, cruise ships on average, maybe it's 2,000 passengers. So it can quickly go up. These people are eating good food, yeah.
Just curious.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They're eating well.
Yeah, eating very
Oh,
well.
okay, and drinking well.
I hope so.
Oh, okay.
So does that include the alcohol too that you purchase from Hawaii, like whether it be Maui Brewing?
We sell a lot
Big
of
Island.
beers, for example,
The local
like local
beers.
beers. Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Jamie Barrett, Polynesian Adventure Tours.
Good afternoon, chairs and vice chairs and committee members. I stand by my testimony that I sent in. However, I just do want to reiterate, we support this bill. We have over 300.
Excuse me, now you have to come and
We
speak
have over
into the mic.
300.
Your name again, please.
Jamie Barut with
And-
Polynesian Adventure Tours.
Okay.
And we support this bill. We have over 340 employees statewide, Kauai, Maui, Honolulu, and in Hilo. And we also support Kona side as well. So 340 employees truly depend on getting cruise ship business on a weekly and a monthly basis to keep them employed. We also work with a ton of vendors, local vendors, Millie's in Hilo, Maui Distillery, all over the state. So that's my stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
you.
Okay, Kauai Kilohana Plantation. Aloha, good seeing you again. You got a nice place out there on Kauai.
Thank you very much. And I want to thank the chairs and the committee members for hearing this today. My name is Fred Atkins, and I have Kauai Kilohana Partners, Kilohana Plantation on Kauai. And he asked a very good question. And I'm also on the lawsuit with Act 96, and I want to explain why. I felt that our employees needed a voice in this matter. We employ, along with our venues. You know, we have about 100-something employees, about 350 total between the two. And they're always asking me, what do you think? If Act 96 goes in the favor of the state, then are some of them really going to leave, or are they just bluffing? And I can't speak for NCL. I'm not here to speak on CLIA, but I can give you facts what happened in 2008, because NCL came to Kauai looking for a place to do a luau. We built the facilities, and we had a group put on an incredible show. It took them a year to, and the day we opened, they came to us and said, you know, everything's great, the people love it, but a ship's going to be leaving in a month, because that was during the recession, and so they had to leave. And then 3 months later, another ship left. So it's all about ROI, return on investment. And I'm hoping through this bill, and I strongly support it, that it can spend this year hearing with all the stakeholders and trying to come up with a compromise that is good for the industry, the hotel industry that gets a lot of pre and post, the cruise ship industry, and especially the employees. Because, you know, especially our people at the luau, they're nervous because they've seen it happen. They've seen it, you know.
So you do the luau's? How
We
many
do the
times a
luau's,
week?
yeah. What we do to the cruise ship, because they have one, we do it every Thursday night. It's exclusive. In the winter, we do 2 to the public. In the summer, we do 4. So, and the show has been quite successful. So, but that during the winter, that extra show with Norwegian means a lot to our employees and everybody. So I'm hoping that it can pass this committee so it can have the proper vetting.
Thank you.
If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy. Otherwise, I'm going to jump on a plane.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for being here as well. Tax Foundation of Hawaii. Tom Yamachika? Aloha, Tom.
Good afternoon, chairs, vice chairs, members of the committees. Tom Yamachika from Tax Foundation. We have some concerns about whether the replacement as stated in this bill would be constitutional. And, you know, you may be able to get this past the courts if the new special fund is exclusively used for the harbors. You know, if it's really a user fee, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. Number one, we have 5% that's going to go off the top for central services admin expenses. That's going to go into kind of more a generalized. Well, it's going to go to the general fund. Okay. Second, you may have people coming to legislature for next year or the following year saying, hey, this is part of the green fee. We need this to fund green projects. So there's going to be charges on it. So once you start on the path of making this more like a tax than a user fee, you're gonna run into problems with the same constitutional provisions that this thing is being attacked with right now. Be happy to answer any questions. Thank you very much for the opportunity to testify.
Tom, I'm not following you. We personally, I mean, currently we already have a collection and paid fee on the passengers. And so
Yeah, that
you say
goes
that
into the
there's
harbor
no
fund, right?
nexus with regards to the new fee?
No, I think you're assuming that, and I'd like to believe that. I don't think that's what's ultimately going to happen. I think there are going to be demands on the fee. It won't be going just to harbors. It'll be a general tax. And if it's a
Oh,
general
you're-
tax, you're going to have problems.
You're saying future legislators may decide to make the changes?
Yes.
Because right now the bill is pretty much specific.
Yeah, right now it is. That's absolutely
Yeah,
correct.
okay, all right. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Any questions of Tax Foundation? Hawai'i Transportation Association. Okay, sends and comments.
I'm here.
Oh, hi.
Hi,
Tina.
sorry.
How
Hi,
are
I'm
you?
on Zoom today. Good, good. Hope everyone's doing good. I'm Tina Yamaki. I'm with the Hawaii Transportation Association. and we stand on our written testimony. This measure establishes a clear, fair, and more workable solution and framework. So thank you so much for this opportunity to testify.
Thanks, Tina. Maritime Group, Bill Annenson. In support, Matson Navigation. In support, Hawaii Hugs Group. Thought I saw Melissa here. In support, Hawaii Tourism Authority. On comments, Go Tours Hawaii, Edward Keli'i no Homoku. Okay, all right. Eric McClellan, Hike Maui. We have Zoom. Terry, is that you? Terry Fisher?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Polynesian Adventure Tours, proceed. Aloha.
Thank you, and good afternoon, chairs and vice chairs and committee members. I testify for you today and stand on my written testimony. But further to that, I would just like to stress one small point, and it echoes what you heard earlier from Mr. Atkins, that for many small and independently owned restaurants, attractions, activity providers, cruise-related visitation is essential to their survival. Cruise passengers and cruise ships provide consistent and predictable demand that helps these businesses and ours operate year-round and retain our employees on our neighbor islands and cover the fixed cost of doing business in a tourism-dependent economy. Importantly, this spending largely stays within the community, supporting the cultural, recreational, and experiential offerings that makes Hawaii unique for both residents and visitors. And I also want to add too that we talk about cruise ships, and there's a lot of discussion with regards to environmental stewardship. And I want to point out that cruise ships are already providing what the rest of the visitor industry is really striving to achieve. And the fact that we have a controlled environment where we bring these visitors and our motor coaches transfer visitors throughout the islands, and we keep them in a controlled environment where we're able to educate and control where and what they see and what they do, and learn about the communities and the cultural heritage of Hawaii. So we strongly support SB 2698. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your patience as well. Hawaii Tour Consultants, Eric Polk, Show You Hawaii LLC, Show You Hawaii LLC Company. Hannah Laziak, Care for Aina Now Coalition, with comments. In support, McCabe, Hamilton, and Rennie. In support, as well as Hawaii Stevedores, Inc. Is there anyone else wishing to speak on this measure as well? Hawaii, we have a late testimony members. Hawaii Pilots Association supports SB 2698 as well. Attorney General, I have a question for you. In your testimony on your recommendations, amendments on the expenditure provisions on section 5, you mentioned that you recommend it be inserted. There is appropriated out of the general revenues of the state of Hawaii an unknown sum, or so much thereof as may necessary for fiscal year to be deposited in the cruise ship special fund. This bill does not cover that, and I wouldn't agree that this measure would have any funds from general funds into this measure. But I was just wondering why you added that?
It was added because at page 2 in the new section 266B, and that would be, I believe that's subsection A, paragraph 2, appropriations made by the legislature for deposit into the fund.
Okay, so you're suggesting that at the outset that if the special fund is created.
So,
Did you say section 1 or section 2?
page 2,
Page 2,
new section 266-B,
okay.
subsection A.
Yeah, I see it, yeah.
So in other words, if the legislature wants to make an appropriation into the fund, such as startup costs, there is an appropriation provision for that. If not, that section is not necessary.
Yeah, okay. Just wanted to clarify.
Sure.
Yes. Yes, Senator Elafante.
Thank you. Deputy Attorney General, my question, I don't know if, I don't believe this was in your testimony, but this has to do with Act 96 from last year.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I'm not sure. Can you hear me okay now?
Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
sorry about that. So my question pertains to Act 96 from session law of last year, in particular HRS Section 37, which establishes the climate change tourism destination management, which TAT proceeds go into, and it lists the type of areas, which is, I think, established the Green Fee Council. So how would this bill impact current law?
I'm not familiar with that part of Act 96. If you needed the question answered, I can check with the department and get back with you.
Okay, because I think it would be good to know if we were to move forward with this bill, would now all the funds that were established, and understanding that it's going through litigation, would that now not be the avenue going forward, and it would just be this fee for the special fund, and then there wouldn't be any sort of
TAT.
TAT and projects that would go under HRS 37. So if you could look into that and get back to us, I think that would be helpful.
All right, I will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Questions?
No, I think, I believe, yeah, we got section 6 on the cruise ship special fund. But nonetheless, that won't happen until the approval of this measure is finalized, if it passes, come, or whether it's July 1st or, whatever date is. Thank you for your presence as well.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. Any further questions or someone you may want to ask questions of? Okay, folks, any questions? Oh, shall we go into decision making? Okay, yeah, we can make the announcement. Okay. Yeah, sure, understand. Okay, all right, let's, IT, we're going to go into recess, and this is the Committee on Transportation and Economic Development and Tourism. Okay, we're going into decision making. We'll take a short recess. Thank you. The joint committee hearing of February, what is today? The 11th, the 10th? Remind me. 10th, okay. Is going into decision making. The Committee on Transportation and Economic Development and Tourism is going into decision making on both agenda items before the committees with SB 2693 relating to capital improvement projects for aerospace infrastructure. The chairs recommended that we will approve this measure with an amendment, and that amendment will be defecting the date to July 1st, 2050, as this hearing, as this measure moves along into the process of the legislative hearings as well. For the Committee on Transportation, any discussion? Hearing none, Vice Chair for the vote, Chair goes aye.
Chair's recommendation is to pass SB 2693 with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Senator Kanuha?
Aye.
Senator Lee is excused. Senator Decourt?
Aye.
Madam Chair, recommendation is adopted.
Committee on Economic Development and Tourism will be deferring decision-making to Tuesday, February 17 at 1 p.m. in conference room 229.
Okay. Thank you. For SB 2698 relating to transportation, Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. We will take into consideration, let's see. Part of the Attorney General's recommendation with their recommended amendments, chairs recommended that we will, the questions raised about the general fund contribution in section 5, we will not be addressing that measure. However, we will make the changes on page 2 and line 6, where we will be deleting these words, appropriations made by the legislature for deposit into the fund. And that will be deleted, deleted from the bill. Okay, I think that's it. Oh, yes, yes. DOTs, we will address and recommend amendments by DOTs recommendations, okay? And let's see, I think we're okay with the dates as well. Okay, Chair's recommendation then on SB 2698 is to pass with amendments. The Committee on Transportation, any questions? Hearing none, Vice Chair for the vote, Chair goes aye.
Chair's recommendation is to pass SB 2698 with amendments of the 4 members present, noting the excuse of Senator Lee. Any no votes? Any votes or reservations? Hearing none, Madam Chair, recommendations adopted.
Okay, thank you.
Committee on Economic Development and Tourism, Senate Bill 2698 will also be deferred for decision-making on Tuesday, February 17 at 1 p.m. in conference room 229.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Committee on Economic Development and Tourism. This concludes then the joint hearing of the Committee on Transportation and the Committee on Economic Development and Tourism. Aloha, and thank you so much for your patience. Good afternoon. The Committee on Transportation is on its hearing notice only for the Committee on Transportation agenda of Tuesday, February 10th. We got 6 measures on this measure, just some housekeeping announcements. Those testifying, we ask that you stand on your written testimony and or limit your oral testimony to 2 minutes. The live and archival video of this hearing can be found on the Senate's YouTube channel, and we will be making, decision-making will follow after the hearing from all the testifiers, time permitting. We'll proceed with SB 1002, and this is relating to port pilotage. This clarifies the consulting role and responsibilities of the DOT and the Department of DCCA Affairs Development and Implementation of the pilot licensure standards, requirements, and criteria. This is an admin bill. Let's see. Department of Transportation.
Aloha Chair and Vice Chair, Dre Kalili, Deputy Director of Transportation for Harbors. We are in support of this bill. This is an area where I think one agency that regulates partnering with an agency that controls a operation and facilities can work together to ensure the pilotage licensure works as well as it should for our state. Available for any questions. Thank you.
Okay, makes life easier and faster.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, good. Thank you. Thanks for this bill. DCCA.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair. DCCA stands on written testimony and support.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Matson Navigation, Sense Communication in support. Bill Anderson, Maritime Group. Okay, in support as well. The Hugs Group, Hawaii Harbors Users Group, in support. Hawaii Pilots Association. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chair and Vice
Good
Chair.
seeing you, Sinclair.
Yeah, good to see you, Senator. Sinclair Brown, Hawaii Pilots Association, thanks for having us. I'm here with a couple of my colleagues, other important pilots, Captain Kanoa Parker, Captain Ryan Hopkins, and our attorney, Lauren Naka.
Yeah.
So, thanks for having us, and we stand on our written testimony and we support this bill. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for being here. Not too often we get the pilots here.
Yes.
And we appreciate your presence as well. And good for you to know too, because you heard the cruise ship bill. And as I always say, we all learn something new every day. Yes, okay, all right. Let's see. Is there anyone else wishing to speak to SB 3102? IT, anyone on Zoom?
None on Zoom, Chair.
All right, we'll move on then to SB 3152 relating to Commercial Port Administration. And this renames the Harbors Division of the Department of Transportation to the Commercial Ports Division and distinguishes between the terms harbor and commercial port throughout the statutes. Okay, Dre, are you going to speak on behalf of the agency on SB 3152?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Chair and Vice Chair, for hearing this bill. This is one of DOT's admin bills, so it is in our package. And the importance for us for this bill is distinguishing what we do in our commercial ports compared to what Small Boat Harbors does at DLNR. Consistently, we get a lot of inquiries about facilities that aren't ours. And so we're hoping that maybe this change in nomenclature clarifies some of that misunderstanding and confusion. That's what we're aiming for. Available for questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Dre. Dobar within DLNR. Sends comments. Maritime Group, Bill Annenson. Okay, big supporter of Maritime. Hubbers Group, Hugs Group. Melissa Pavlicek in support as well. Is there anyone else wishes to speak to SB 3102? I think Dre, when I was reading, Dre, are you there? There's one
Yes, Senator.
section I thought I missed, one of the words that should be underlined, underscored, that carries out the new name. And I'm trying to find it now. We'll come to it, I'm sure, as we move along with this measure. I just thought there was a part of the measure that, when it's going by its sections, that it still carried harbors instead of the underscore new line. But it's something that SMA can look into it.
Senator, if I may just offer the clarification. So there are some uses of the term harbors in Hawaii revised statutes as it pertains to our operation that is still accurate. So a harbor is a geographic feature, right? It's like a bay area, whereas the port is like the developed infrastructure used for discharging cargo and moving passengers to us from a cruise ship. So in some cases, the use of harbor is still appropriate as it describes the areas where we work.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Anyone else speaking on SB 3152? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on then to SB 3157. This is relating to transportation, another admin bill as well. This requires unencumbered and unexpended revenues from the Automated Speed Enforcement Systems Program Special Fund in excess of $12 million as of June 30th of each year to lapse to the general fund. Okay, DOT.
DOT stands on its written testimony and support.
Okay, thank you very much. Somebody, the governor is working hard. He wants to make sure that we don't overexpand beyond than once it in the general fund. But good work in a sense. Let's move on then. Oh, is anyone else wishes to speak to SB 3157? Okay, going once, going twice. SB.
Oh, I have a question for
Yes.
DOT on this.
Okay, Senator
Hi,
Elefante for
Deputy Director.
DOT.
Yeah, as the chair mentioned, you don't often see departments transferring
Yes.
funds back to the general fund, so that's nice of DOT. Do you know currently how much is in this fund now?
I know how many citations we've gotten. I don't know that the funds have been collected.
Okay,
But
what
since
would be the
December-
amount? Yeah,
Oh,
of citations,
okay.
yeah.
So since December 5th until the end of 2025, they gave out 10 citations. This year, we've only seen one citation. So depending on, how much over a vehicle is going over the speed limit, fines can be anywhere from $167 to $317. So on the high end, we probably have the potential of collecting so far about $3,487.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, for the record, can you state your name again?
Absolutely. Tammy Lee, Deputy Director for the DOT.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll proceed then with, oh, you know what I was gonna say? So the county's portion is not part of this, right? That counties are still able to get their own, don't we pay the counties anyway?
Well, I think there is a revision to the existing statute that would make the fund more flexible, that it doesn't have to be spent in the county that the citation was given. It will be just in that general fund.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. We'll proceed with SB 3234 relating to traffic safety. This appropriates money to DOT to install all-way crosswalks at sites abutting school properties. That's 3234. DOT.
The DOT stands on its written testimony and strong support.
Okay.
We missed one, 290.
Oh, sorry. Okay. All right. All right. Chair just missed the last bill on the first page. We will then speak on SB 2954 relating to traffic safety. This requires DOT to complete and publish a traffic engineering study before installing specified traffic safety devices or changing posted speed limits on state highways. Okay, DOT on this measure.
Stands on its written testimony providing comments.
Okay. Is there anyone here wishes to speak to SB 2954 Members, any questions? Okay, hearing none, let's proceed then with SB 3234 relating to traffic safety. And this appropriates monies to the Department of Transportation to install all-way crosswalks at sites abutting school properties. DOT.
Thank you, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. The DOT stands on its written testimony in strong support of this measure, but we would like to ask the legislature if they could broaden the use of
Changing the funds.
to other pedestrian safety measures, not only to these all-way. We would respectfully request flexibility to account for differing traffic calming needs in different areas.
Okay, you have recommended amendment.
We can provide.
Will you,
Yes.
please? Okay, work with staff. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. DOE, Department of Education, sends communication in support. Eduardo Hernandez, Hawaii Bicycling League, in support. Hawaii Public Health Institute, Nate Hicks, in support. We do have testimonies in support from the OMPO, the Oahu Metropolitan Planning Organization, Michael Butel, John Rogers, and Kalai in support as well. Anyone wishes to speak to SB 3234? Hearing none, let's proceed to SB 2955 relating to the Hono'api'ilani Highway Coastal Mitigation Project, DOT. Okay. Oh, that's right. There's nothing. Nobody is testifying on this measure. Okay, is there anyone else here wishes to speak on SB 2955? Hearing none, we'll recess and go into decision-making on the measures before the Committee on Transportation. IT will go into recess. The Committee on Transportation is going into decision-making on its notice of hearing of February 10th, Tuesday in room 229. Members, SB 3102 relating to the port pilotage, Chair's recommendation that we pass with amendments, with technical non-substantive amendments, and also the recommendation that the Hawaii Pilots Association is recommending that we delete the word Port Ellen, because I don't think that's around anymore, right? Okay, so that will be,
Port Allen's still around though.
yeah, it is, but there's pretty much no active porting that the pilots go there, even for practicing. I think they not there anymore. Well, so we'll, but you know what though? I didn't see that Port Ellen anyway on the measure. Because it highlighted, I think, on the bill, I don't remember seeing Port Ellen. Maybe in general. Oh, 1 second. And that would be, oh, sorry, I don't have my bill here online. Nonetheless, you have, okay, you know
You wanna
where
see
they are,
it?
you see it,
No,
is Port
that's
Ellen
right.
there? It was in the, where they have all the,
front.
yeah, there's, okay, there's all of the, hold on, go up somewhere. Okay, it identifies all the harbors.
See it, I don't see it.
It was, yeah, because if it's not there. Inactivity, yeah, it does say here, in their testimony.
The
You got,
DCCA's.
no, it's the,
Hawai'i Pilots
no, it's in
Association.
the bill. Look for the bill itself. And here's their testimony. Look at the bill. Okay, there is a section,
Pilots, yeah.
there's a section that has all the harbors names, like Hilo, huh?
Yeah, oh,
Oh.
it's a statute, delete the inclusion of Fort Allen. It's
Okay,
just to clean up 462.
okay. I'm just wondering if we should do it now. Did you hear, this is what they're recommending, but it's a different statute. And I don't know if we have that recognized. What was the statute? On,
Can I?
oh, 17, okay.
Can I? Hang on.
Okay, 46217, I don't see 17 in here. So if it doesn't, then I don't think we don't see it in the. Yeah, okay. You see, you see 17, you don't?
No.
No, okay, we won't include, yeah, so the changes will be.
Section.
Yeah, okay, we'll, the recommendation for amendments would just be the the technical non-substantive amendments to this measure. Any discussion of members? Okay, Vice Chair, for the recommendation then is to pass with amendments. Okay, Vice Chair for the vote, Chair goes aye.
Which wouldn't
On-
include the deletion of Port Allen.
No, because it's not even,
Yeah.
the statute is not even identified in the bill. Yeah, okay. Okay, Chair goes aye.
Okay, Chair's recommendations to pass SB 3102 with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Senator Kanuha.
Aye.
Senator Lee.
Aye.
Senator Decourt.
Aye.
Madam Chair, recommendations adopted.
Okay, SB 3152 relating to commercial port administration, and this renames the Harbor Division of DOT to the Commercial Ports Division. The Chair's recommendation is to amend this bill only with technical non-substantive amendments. Okay, hearing none, any discussions? Hearing none, Vice Chair for the vote, Chair goes aye.
Chair's recommendations to pass SB 3152 with amendments of the 5 members present. Any no votes or votes with reservations? Hearing none, Madam Chair, recommendations adopted.
Okay, thank you. SB 3157, this is relating to transportation and another governor's package. Chair's recommendation is to pass this measure as is. Any discussions? Hearing none, Vice Chair for the vote, Chair goes aye.
Chair's recommendations to pass SB 3157 unamended of the 5 members present. Any no votes or votes with reservations? Hearing none, Madam Chair, recommendations adopted.
Thank you. SB 2954 relating to traffic safety. Chair's recommendation is, yeah, we're going to defer this measure because DOT is already in place with their program and their dashboard on this measure. So we'll defer SB 2954. SB 3234 relating to traffic safety. Chair's recommendation is to pass this measure with amendments. Members, the introducer of this measure, Senator Lamasal, did have discussions with the director, Ed Sniffen, recommending that the fund will be out of the, let's see, where's? Oh, yeah. Okay, the safe routes to school. So that safe, on section 1, on line 1, the bill did refer to the fund, the appropriation out of the general revenues. However, her recommendation for us to make the necessary changes to the safe routes to school fund. Okay, so that's passing this measure with amendments. I think that's it for now. Vice Chair for the vote. Chair goes aye.
Chair's recommendations to pass SB 3234 with amendments of the 5 members present. Any no votes or votes or reservations? Hearing none, Madam Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you. On SB 2955, this is relating to the Hono Pi'ilani Highway Coastal Mitigation Project. Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments, and it's just amending with technical and non-substantive amendments. Any discussion? Hearing none, Vice Chair for the vote. Chair goes aye.
Chair's recommendation is to pass SB 2955 with amendments of the 5 members present. Any no votes or votes or reservations? Hearing none, Madam Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you very much. This concludes then the hearing notice and the votes on the Committee on Transportation. Thank you so much.